See, what I tell you, right back here for eLevate versus Kingdom, I swapped out aggro and picked up a Totally.
I'm here. I'm ready for the games. Kingdom against eLevate right now. Very important game for eLevate. 8 points, 1 behind Thor.
We have the LAN coming up soon, so what is this game? What is this set going to mean for eLevate? Because right now, they're 1 point behind Thor, like you mentioned.
They have 1 set to go right now, 2 for the next week. They control their own fate. And more importantly, the last set of next week, it's going to be Thor against eLevate.
And that's going to be very clutch because you see how close they are right now. eLevate need to win at least 1 game to keep up with Thor. If they can win 2, that's going to rocket them to 11 points and get a nice little lead onto Thor, a nice comfort level before they go into the last week. Next week is it. That's it.
That's week number 7. It's going to be the last one. And right now, this set specifically, Kingdom, they've been struggling a lot. They only found 1 split right now. So this is a good confidence booster potentially for eLevate.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out. Game 1 is ready. Picks and bans on the screen here in just a second. Kingdom going to opt to get the first pick and the first ban. Get a little bit of an advantage over eLevate.
Right now, if I'm Kingdom, they have no potential way of qualifying for the LAN. They need to figure out what's going to work for them in the future. This is the determining set for them of what they want to do in the future because they've been going through a lot of roster changes.
And speaking of that, we have another PC Challengers Cup person joining the SCL ranks. Coviiii is going to be playing mid lane for Kingdom.
Vulcan's going to be the first ban right now coming out of Kingdom. They really want to target that away from eLevate. They want to be able to try to shut down the early jungle fights. They don't want to deal with that big ultimate around the Gold Fury.
That can be very destructive, not only for big fights, but also objective secure. Susano banned out. Terra, the name of the game, is Sustain. That's why Guan and Terra both banned out.
I wouldn't be surprised maybe if we see a Ra as a result with these 2 Sustain gods being off the table. You could potentially pick up the Odin with it, but it's going to be an early soul pick coming out of Kingdom. It's a little bit of a flex pick right now. You don't know if that's going to go in the mid or in the duo.
I mean, it could go either way. You can give it to Coviiii, you can give it to Zachsy. Zachsy, but doing a very good job thus far. Kingdom, completely different roster if you've only checked into the first couple of weeks. Bringing in JoltaK, camping solo, McSaltyCakes, Zachsy, and now Coviiii.
I wonder how that tastes. McSaltyCakes? You think it's like extra salty or just like a little bit?
I don't know, depends on if they win or not.
I got to message him after this game and figure that out because that's something I definitely want to try out.
Zeus picked up for eLevate, a nice strong pick. Lots of damage out in the mid lane, plus the ult can be used as zoning, and Ratatoskr with that global ultimate.
Has some good synergy in these team fights when there's a lot of chaos and havoc. That Ratatoskr is going to be so crucial for the counter engage more importantly than anything else. And the Zeus damage to follow up is just so devastating.
Absolutely. Ravana locked in for the solo lane, more than likely from Kingdom, and Chronos, bit of a flex pick as well, that can go as ADC or mid, so depending on what eLevate draft, they can flip-flop Sol and Chronos. 2
magical hunters coming out of Kingdom eSports. If I'm eLevate, I'm really worried for Kingdom to get the Fafnir, so I would be looking out for that ban moving forward. The attack speed boost with the Coerce and then going into the Dragon form, AoE Coerce, that's going to allow the mid to late game Sol and Chronos to just completely run wild on eLevate.
And there it is. That's the first ban coming out from eLevate. That Coerce would be absolutely devastating. We've seen Chronos absolutely shred. Sol can do the same thing, whether it's to a person or to a tower. Sobek banned out, and Freya.
So having the 2 magical hunters out of Kingdom, they're going to ban the last remaining third one of the Freya off the table. So that's going to leave eLevate to go for more of a late game physical hunter. There's a lot of options, I would say, between the Xingwei and the Rama more than anything else. You could go the Artemis, considering now you have Khepri, which should be able to keep you alive long enough in these team fights.
You say that about the late game carry, but they're going to at least ban out one, the Xbalanque, a very late game oriented god. Picking up the Bellona for the solo lane. Bellona, I feel, is just very middle of the pack. She's not good, she's not bad.
People forget about Bellona, but she's really good with the Scourge. About 2 1/4 seconds disarm at max rank, and that's very important dealing with the Sol and the Chronos. The more you can mitigate their damage with the in-hands, the more the rest of your team can survive in Team eLevate. And that's going to be the plan right now with this Khepri, trying to mitigate the damage. Now, they can't really run Xing Chen here, but that would be a really nasty pick for eLevate if they wanted to go for that.
But last pick coming out from Kingdom eSports is going to be the Thor, yet another global ultimate for the jungle. I did want to mention, if Bellona goes into the solo lane against that Ravana, that's also going to help because Robin, very strong in the early game. Not many gods can go toe-to-toe with his boxing in the first couple of levels.
Not at all. He's going to be able to overhead kick the bludgeon every single time, but it's a shorter cooldown on the bludgeon. It's about 10 seconds compared to about the 18 or so for the overhead kick. So depending on how aggressive Niqued wants to play in the solo lane, he should be able to control the matchup, but already right off the bat, eLevate, they're grouping up, poking out camping solo.
Camping solo, not really going to be able to camp solo quite yet. Needs to go back and heal, taking a little bit of poke, but aside from that, we're not really seeing any positionings for any sort of invade.
Not quite yet. No Ras on the table as camping solo did pick up the purification. He wants to make sure that he doesn't get stunned out or knocked up by Jumpahhh in these team fights. Especially with the follow damage coming out of Truancii playing the Zeus.
I mean, and you know the aggro's disappointed because we're not going to have a Ratatoskr.
Well, no Ratatoskr for aggro.
Coviiii going to be taking this soul into the mid lane. Zachsy going to be on that Chronos just for the building up later on to shred. And Coviiii, the soul's pretty safe for the mid lane with that disapparate.
You want to be able to synergize as best as you possibly can with a jungle. Soul and the Thor does a lot of damage. There would be more CC potentially with Zachsy having the Chronos rather on Coviiii. You know, you have the Thor stun into the time stop. You could get off a lot of poke, but there's a lot of space control with the Soul as well. You have the Stellar Burst, which you can't really get out of. On top of that, the Supernova is something that you always have to reposition against.
Do you think we're going to see any issues with the synergy, especially since Coviiii is coming out here in Season 3, where the mid and jungle synergy is probably one of the most important aspects of the game?
It's very possible. It's going to be important with how well these teams have been synergizing in the scrims right now with such little playing time together, especially transitioning from PC into the console side of things. Not only is it a different style of playing, different layouts in general, it's also a different group of players. So the synergy has to be on point between this middle and jungle.
Getting a nice strong start. eLevate are taking the mid-right Harpies as well as the Fire Imps. Going to give them a nice little beginning. And since we did have solo split with that Bellona, going to get to level 5 first.
But the only issue is now that there's going to be some lane control for JoltaK in the solo, and he's able to clear that wave out first and maybe get out some poke.
A little bit of an issue though with that Scourge, able to halt that up for just a second. JoltaK able to free clear, and once this lane goes, Niqued going to be able to get right back in where he was.
Have to be careful about playing around the tower line. KeegsMate getting taunted in, taking a tower shot for his trouble. Now he does have the Transcendence for a lot of MP5, so he could spam out the Unravel, getting the sustain back, no problem. And having the Khepri means he can continue to play aggressive. The lane control in the dual lane so far favoring eLevate quite heavily.
And we saw earlier on when we first got our glimpse of the duo lane, Rippin was already using the hug bug to separate the support and the ADC, which is what you want to do.
Just mitigating a lot of damage from Zachsy right now. Every time that Rising Dawn comes out from Rippin. I like the pickup of the Khepri. It's a very nice defensive style, and we saw last weekend just what a hot commodity Khepri was over the LAN.
I mean, and the sustain coming out with the ultimate as well. Have a little bit of a fight, spin to win coming out from camping solo. A little bit of damage onto Jumpahhh, but they are at a little bit of a disadvantage considering everyone on eLevate for that mid lane is level 5.
Right now, the Thor, though, he's still struggling at level 4. He doesn't have the same global presence quite yet as Jumpahhh does hit 5. He's sitting between solo and mid. He wants to figure out what he really wants to do. They could potentially go into JoltaK because he is at half health, but poking out Truancii just a little bit.
Nice double tap coming out from camping solo. The farm is going to be good here soon in just a second. JoltaK almost lost his life because we did see the Eagles rally from Niqued just to continue putting the pressure and throwing the weight around.
And surprisingly enough, JoltaK didn't have to use his own ultimate, but now it's going to be camping solo in the sky. He was trying to contest those Fire Giant Elementals, but now Jumpahhh with a counter ultimate.
As soon as he saw him go into the air, we saw the rat go into the air as well. And since he crashed down in the middle, that's going to leave the right side of the main really open. JoltaK barely Mystic rushing away with his life.
This is a great timing of a gank to JoltaK to get him this low, because now JoltaK, he's in a position where he has to back. And as a result, now we're going to see an invade potentially coming out of eLevate. The speed and the blue are respawning. We're going to see a 2-on-2 at the speed.
Jumpahhh wants to go ahead and rush forward. Instead, he may just fall off. No, that's going to be Kingdom eSports falling off. Instead, eLevate really want to get aggressive, but JoltaK is going to make that rotation, as well as Athena with the Defender of Olympus.
But in mid lane, eLevate, they managed to clear out the wave if they wanted to. They could have collapsed 4-on-3 on that rotation. I'm really surprised that eLevate didn't take advantage. Despite the Athena ultimate being used there, the Khepri and the Zeus, after clearing mid wave, they could have collapsed onto the speed buff, leaving not many options for Kingdom to retreat. They didn't have the Thor ultimate to really get away from from that one.
At that point, it maybe would have been a little too risky. The last thing you want to do is squander an early lead. They're sitting up by about 300. While it isn't much, it's a good foothold. It's just by a slow burn.
Absolutely. In the soul lane right now, both of them with their teleports on cooldown. Warrior Tabi has been complete. JoltaK, he's still going to be in an interesting position because the Bellona now hitting level 7, and with Ratatoskr right behind, could get ganked with the World Weaver.
Here comes Jumpahhh and the World Weaver waiting to crash across the map, and they don't even need anyone else here. Jumpahhh gonna take a shot for his troubles, but JoltaK is gone.
That's going to be a Neith ultimate securing the first blood. That's very important now because Transcendence is going to be completed a little bit sooner for KeegsMate. Whenever you can get a free kill like that and continue to farm, and now Zachsy has to watch out because he's going to be in trouble already at 1 level behind.
And at that point, getting that whole kill, didn't even have to really squander anything but the ultimate. That's just easy win. Easy peasy.
Taking advantage of JoltaK before his ultimate came back off of cooldown. This is something now he has to put at the front of his mind. Maybe heading into the laning phase, he was like, all right, Bellona versus Ravana, very easy matchup. Nothing really to worry about one-on-one. They have a global jungle, I have a global jungle, but now I have to worry about the global hunter too.
Niqued going to be able to get a little bit of damage. You can see he's 1 solid level. We just saw JoltaK hit level 7, so the experience lead coming out from eLevate already sitting pretty nice, especially where Niqued's concerned.
And really importantly right now, Niqued, he has his own blue buff, but JoltaK didn't have time to get his own, so if Niqued really wants to, he could pressure this lane even harder, clearing the next wave and going for the blue buff invade, because now JoltaK at half health, he has to worry about even coming to this wave. He's going to get bullied out.
And where did this come from, aside from the kill? Is it just innately within this matchup that we're seeing JoltaK have so much issues against this Bellona?
It's that one single kill. Niqued poked out JoltaK ever so slightly, and then with the gank coming from Jumpahhh, it forced the ultimate earlier on, so he had nowhere to go away once the World Weaver came back online. And now this time, there's going to be a blue buff invade, but McSaltyCakes, he gets pulled.
McSaltyCakes are going to get pulled, lots of damage coming through. The detonate going to be good. SaltyCakes trying to get away, but Jumpahhh going to get the last hit, and now the rat going to hop up into the air to avoid any retaliation, gonna crash down right on Zachsy. They want to stop this Chronos.
What I think Jumpahh's mentality was, maybe I'll land on Zachsy, force a purification, and dash away in the process, which would allow KeegsMate to play aggressive in the process. Now eLevate finding their second kill of the game on the left-hand side, and on the right, Niqued was successfully able to invade the blue buff, and now he's proxying between the tier 1 and tier 2.
And he's able to do that because JoltaK is just so far behind. Niqued already sitting nice happy at level 10. JoltaK level 8. It's so different to see a Ravana struggle this early on.
Yeah, 2 levels behind. There's not really much for him to do at this point. The Scourge is about to be maxed out second for Niqued, and that's going to be problematic. JoltaK's not going to be able to keep up with the sustain.
SaltyCakes not going to be able to find the taunt onto Niqued. Instead, they're going to go to the right, forcing out the Eagles rally just to make sure. But here comes Camping Solo crashing in. Double tap going to be good onto holes, but there's not going to be any follow-up from Kingdom.
Kingdom could have invaded the speed buff with all that damage done onto the Khepri. They could have even maybe forced out his ultimate if they wanted to aggress. They forced out the Eagles rally like you mentioned. They poked out the Khepri. They had the cooldowns, but they're not taking the risks to come back into this game. They're down 2,000 gold at the 7-minute mark. If they don't make a play soon enough, then eLevate are going to run away with this one.
The perfect play would be the Gold Fury here soon. It is up, but there's been a little bit of a word fight going on between the two of the teams.
They're trying to find the positioning they need around the Gold Fury, the first important objective of the game. If you can find anyone out of position, you pick them off. You'll have an easy 5-on-4 play for this Gold Fury. There's no rafts from either side, so this is why you really have to get the picks before you start this objective.
It's really going to fall to the junglers with their global ultimates to act as a built-in wrath.
Absolutely. You're going to have to disrupt the enemy from getting off their abilities and timing it up, because sometimes what you want to do is time your cooldowns. You do the cooldown timers like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's burn this Gold Fury. But having to worry about Envolodon or the Ratatoskr global is problematic.
Ratatoskr getting a little bit of damage from the double tap. Going to get walled out, but Camping Solo going to head right back to the left lane. eLevate putting the pressure and no one to back off.
Camping Solo took a little bit of poke, but more poke done onto Jumpahhh as a result. He's going to have to really decide of what he wants to do now moving forward. Really great wars on the left-hand side. Sentry Ward defensively from eLevate to make sure that Zachsy doesn't have the vision of this Ratatoskr.
And they know how important it is, not only for the vision of the Rat, but also this Gold Fury. Kingdom eSports going to go ahead and start it up. Rippin holes, not going to be able to find the route onto anybody, but his presence alone with Jumpahhh is enough to have them leash it.
Great timing also by eLevate. They wanted to wait around, but Rippin holes, he's going to get taunted out, stunned out. He's going to have to ultimate himself, but not in time.
Not in time, and now we have Rat coming into the air, and in response, Thor comes down as well, but Jumpahhh looking for Keegs. Keegs going to be able to find Zachsy in the backline. Jumpahhh going to fall to Coviiii, getting his name on in the spotlight for this game. Keegs taking out Camping Solo, and that didn't necessarily work out in their favor.
Not at all. 2 for 2 right now. eLevate, he gets a chain lightning in the World Weaver, finding JoltaK. It's going to be a 3 for 2 right now for eLevate. They could start up the Gold Fury here with Niqued rotating.
And here they go. They're going to go ahead and start it out. The only one able to even stop this is going to be McSaltyCakes, but without a Wrath, without a lot of damage to even try and chunk it down, it's not going to go in their favor. eLevate going to be able to steal it and take McSaltyCakes' life in the process.
He tried so hard dashing in, but when you dash in, you have no way to dash out. He sacrificed himself. Now eLevate with 6 kills on the board, getting the Gold Fury at the 9.5-minute mark, extending their goal lead to 3,500. More importantly, this experience is really out of control right now.
5,000. This is still very early on in the game, so they can take this and run with it. Use the level advantage to every advantage you can. There's a 2-level difference, sometimes 3, depending between the solo laners. Camping Solo gonna find a nice stun, but Jumpahhh gonna rip through, looking for the last hit onto Camping Solo. Gonna be able to find it. The revive gonna be good onto Jumpahhh, and at that point, they're gonna completely disengage.
Great invade coming out of eLevate. They invaded the blue buff. They recognized that the Thor used his hammer to go from mid-wave into his speed. He had no possible escape, was forced into the purification. His ultimate was on cooldown, nowhere to go, but now in the dual lane, KeegsMate and Zachsy boxing it out. Rewind, not in time.
There's the backflip, rewind, not gonna be able to save his life, and KeegsMate gonna find that kill. Now we have a rotation coming out from eLevate onto the mid lane. Coviiii forced into the disapparate, not gonna be able to get plucked back because it was a little late. Supernova not gonna claim the life, and instead Truancii gonna find Coviiii.
Disapparate was on cooldown. That gives a free opportunity for the chain lightning off the shield. Detonate with just too much damage. Right now it's only an level 11 soul. Doesn't have that second relic for the Sanctuary. So this is a great time for Truancii to really play on the aggressive side. Just not enough abilities and positioning teammates to save soul there.
10 minutes and 58 seconds in, 2-9, read the kills. eLevate sitting at a very nice lead when it comes to gold, but more importantly, like we mentioned, the experience. And looking at the player damage, you can see just exactly why. Between the Zeus on Truancii, between Neith, between Bellona, there's so much CC and there's so much damage.
And as a result, all these power spikes are starting to heavily favor eLevate. We're looking between the soul laners. Breastplate of Valor complete. Frostbound Hammer almost finished with Niqued, whereas JoltaK, he's still struggling. He's only at tier 2 Breastplate, and KeegsMate having so many power spike items as well, having the lifesteal, having the unravel. Zachsy, he's going to have to keep relying on these cooldowns to win the trades.
And these cooldowns are still going to be able to help him try to take out KeegsMate. He's waiting. There goes the Sanctuary. The rewind going to be good because Jumpahhh jumps right into the lane. Zachsy being channeled by the ultimate from McSaltyCakes, but he's going to get taken out. Zachsy going to get just absolutely knocked up, but the damage is going to be enough. Camping Solo crashing in, not going to be able to find it because the Khepri ult.
Great Khepri ult from Rippin holes, and with all these cooldowns being down from Kingdom, I wouldn't be surprised if eLevate continue on to the aggression. Jumpahh's waiting for the right opportunity. He wants to wait for that important hammer from Camping Solo before re-aggressing, but they're very comfortable with that one pickup from McSaltyCakes. The ultimate from Athena didn't go off, so if they continue the aggression for eLevate, that could be a potential turnaround. So smart, disciplinary action from eLevate.
Zachsy is not only the big name here, hold on, Coviiii may be a name, but not big. He's gonna get taken out by KeegsMate, gets soloed in the mid lane. Camping Solo gonna get a nice, absolutely nothing, a little bit of a whiff, but he's gonna find Jumpahhh in the everywhere.
No possible way for
Nothing.
Camping Solo to escape. He used his hammer aggressively, and that's what happens. And now forced back under the tier 1 tower, McSaltyCakes. He cannot possibly defend this 1v4 while Niqued zoning out JoltaK in the soul lane, already grabbing the tier 1 tower earlier on. Tier 1 mid falls. eLevate just on top of their game right now. They really want to go above Soar in this set.
and they're already losing so much pressure on this map. They have 2 tier 1s down, and eLevate are just completely combing through their jungle. And the big name of the game, for at least for Kingdom eSports, is Zachsy, especially since he's on this Chronos, and they've done everything they can to shut him down. 0, 2, and 0.
That's what you really have to do against a magical hunter. We saw in the first set of the day, the Freya that kept getting shutting down in the early game. Same exact style coming out of eLevate already. Level 16 for KeegsMate, and he's been the one all-star in the console league so far, going from Sword now to eLevate. He's been really on point. 7-0-2.
Oh, Nick, we're gonna get pinched between 3 members. Meditation not gonna be enough to heal him. Eagles Rally gonna get him back to the rest of his team. JoltaK still chasing, gonna take out his aggression on Rippin. Meanwhile, on the left side of the map, Camping Solo gonna be just off. Only get a last couple of ticks from his Berserker's barrage, but they're trying to take down KeegsMate. He does not have a way to get out currently. Holes gonna be able to take out JoltaK and Keegs, taking out Camping Solo.
Another swag backflip from KeegsMate, finding his second backflip kill of the game. He's just so on point. He took a 1v2 no problem, and now he's still gonna be on the aggressive side. He found the sustain from the minion wave. He's dodging these timers. He's able to find the root, but the rewind just barely in time, but he's right in front of KeegsMate.
And Keegs not going to be CC'd out, but Zachsy going to find the return kill. That's exactly what they wanted.
They needed that return kill so badly. The purification was not available, but despite that kill, eLevate, they're still going to force the Gold Fury. It's McSaltyCakes and Coviiii trying to disrupt it, but great zoning so far from Rippin Holes.
Coviiii has the Supernova, and we're going to have the Eagles Rally come through. Not going to lock down SaltyCakes, but it is going to be enough to stop the Gold Fury. Coviiii going to fall, however, and Truancii going to take out McSaltyCakes. The only one here is JoltaK, and we may see a repeat.
2v4, and Gold Fury was reset, and now that's going to sacrifice the 2 lives for Kingdom, just delaying it ever so slightly. And now eLevate, they're really consumped and happy about that. They don't have to go for the Gold Fury at this point. They're very slow and methodical about what they really want to do. They don't have to press the issue if they're going to continue to win these team fights.
They don't have to press it right now, 15 minutes in, because they're sitting about 7,000 up currently. 33,000 are Kingdom eSports. 10,000 experience difference coming out from eLevate, and yep, 7,000 gold right there. That comes from kills, farm, and objectives.
Right now, the late game, I would say, would favor Kingdom, but the question is, how are they going to get to the late game? I feel like eLevate, they're going to continue on these aggressive nature. They're going to go for these objectives, which are going to continue to force Kingdom to respond, and they just don't have the levels really to contest this. We see Zachsy 2 levels behind already KeegsMate, and most importantly, it's the solo lane. It's 3 levels behind, but Zachsy forced the purification away. The Athena is going to keep him alive for now.
That's going to be 2 ultimates used between the two members of eLevate right now. They use the Neith ultimate as well. It's going to be the Sanctuary coming through. SaltyCakes not going to be able to taunt him in, and now they may be in a bad spot. 4 members Salty going to get just completely trounced by Truancii.
McSaltyCake, he keeps dashing in aggressively without a possible escape. The counter rotation coming out of eLevate is just too strong. When you're this far behind, you have to wait for eLevate to make a mistake before you go on the aggressive side. And now 5-on-4, eLevate, they're going to use their number advantage by pressuring the left-hand side while Niqued's going to invade the speed buff.
And Niqued going to be able to do exactly what he wants, because JoltaK isn't able to do a single thing against this Bellona. Jumpahhh in the backline trying to put the pressure, instead going to lose his life in the process. Camping Solo getting credit.
He tried too hard there to zone against a tier 1 tower. You just want to be able to poke out. You have the tools necessary to really find the picks. You have Rippin holes that can easily find a root, which could set up KeegsMate for another root. You have the Zeus chain lightning detonate combo off the shield to find these easy picks, but just a little too impatient was Jumpahhh.
Niqued made the rotation over, but the call from the team was to go ahead and back off. Instead, the 2 of them going to look more towards the Gold Fury or turn around and get these mid camps, start combing through the jungle again and taking everything out.
Slow and methodical is eLevate's game. They found the last remaining tier 1 tower. They're going to find McSaltyCakes with a nice chain lightning detonate, doing a little bit of damage, but in the back line, Thor landing down.
Spin to win, gonna activate Rippin holds its ultimate. He's gonna try to get away without losing his life once again. JoltaK Mystic rushing, trying to take it down. Instead, he's gonna get hug-bugged into 3 members of the rest of the team. Niqued gonna take out Coviiii, but Solo gonna be able to find the Neith. Truancii taking out the Thor in return. Niqued gonna fall to JoltaK.
2 for 2 so far. Zachsy falls, as well as JoltaK. 4 for 2 for eLevate. They're not done yet. They want the deicide on McSaltyCakes, but it looks like he's gonna sacrifice himself under that tier 1 tower. eLevate recognized this. They're going to go straight for the Gold Fury, wasting no time.
Absolutely none. And this Gold Fury is completely free. Like you mentioned, that's a deicide. Nobody's going to be here for 10 seconds. And the first person that's going to find the life again is going to be Coviiii, and he died early on.
Second Gold Fury of the game going to eLevate. 21 kills to 6 heading into the 18-minute mark. This is getting completely out of control with a 9,000 gold lead. It's about 500 gold lead every single minute that passes by. This is a great rate that eLevate has been going on. They're now aggressing towards the right-hand side. They have the items necessary. If they really wanted to, once all 5 members respawn for eLevate, they can start warding around this Fire Giant and keep forcing Kingdom to drop one by one.
And they don't want to drop one by one, so what can Kingdom do? Did they just travel in packs now?
Yes, they have to be able to try to ward around like they've been doing, dropping the sentry wards in the crucial spots, making sure that eLevate, they don't have the aggressive vision that they need to find the picks. So what happens here is Kingdom need to wait patiently for eLevate to force the Fire Giant, wait for that right engage for Kingdom.
Still, though, 6-21. eLevate looking very solid. This is almost the same game that we saw earlier on with Return against Aware, but eLevate looking very strong. And I mean, I'm not really sure, even with the pack mentality, what Kingdom eSports can do at this point.
At this point in time, it's just all about consistency. They need to get their roster really in check and figure out what works for them and the strengths. Jumpahhh going into the sky, but he's not really in range to fall down onto anybody, but they're still aggressive. Niqued underneath in middle. He wants to maybe force a play, jumping onto Coviiii, but a little bit too early. The Disapparate was still available.
Yeah, but he's going to get stopped immediately by the wall from camping solo. Perfect timing that we didn't see coming out from Niqued. A little bit of a misfortune there, but not going to be able to find the pinch. JoltaK coming in just to try and get the CC onto Niqued. That's really all he can do at level 15.
Force the Purification and the Sanctuary out of Zachsy, so he has to back off and retreat. Now a rotation coming out of KeegsMate, trying to regroup with the rest of his team in the mid lane. Root is good onto Coviiii, and that's going to be the first victim of this team fight.
And backflip going to get him right out of danger and right in the position to try and get JoltaK with the stun. The Zeus ultimate coming down is a good zoning tool to keep the rest of Kingdom eSports. They just scatter like bugs when you turn the light on.
And now the first tier 2 tower being aggressed on by eLevate. They're so far in the lead, and they're going to start knocking down these objectives. They're not going for the Fire Giant. They're so calculating about every other important objective of the game, just extending and skyrocketing their goalie now to 12,000.
Taking away these towers just puts a lot more pressure onto Kingdom eSports. They don't have anywhere to go. And Niqued gonna find the ultimate, but gonna get stunned out himself. Gonna be channeled by the Khepri ultimate just to try to save his life with the Scarab's Blessing. But as soon as that goes away, camping solo gonna dish out the damage. Rippin gonna get chased, but nice roots coming out from eLevate.
They have to be careful. They found the first pick, and they're very fortunate for that one, but if they keep going, it's gonna be problematic for Kingdom. They have to take this one win and start farming off of it. There's nothing really for them to take here. You have to respect the damage from Truancii. You have to respect the CCs coming out of Rippin to completely shut down the push from Kingdom. They just need to get these levels online.
Don't overstep your boundaries and don't overstep your lead. That's why we see teams choking. Right now, eLevate, this is their game to choke. They have Kingdom eSports by the leash.
Absolutely, and they need to be able to utilize this set as a confidence booster moving forward. If they find the 2-0 sweep here, they'll be at 11 points. Soar's at 9 currently. Both Soar and eLevate, they have 2 more sets next week, and the last set of the day for the next week is going to be Soar versus eLevate, and that could be the crucial deciding factor of who's going to be that 4th seed heading into the LAN.
And all eyes are on eLevate right now because of that. It is how they perform here in next week, which is the last week, that decides if they're going to come here and sit where the SPL pros have been sitting last weekend and this upcoming weekend.
It's a beautiful esports arena, and eLevate have their eyes on the prize. They want to be able to be the first to be getting into the LAN for the first time, rather, and no other opposition than Kingdom would give them this kind of confidence moving forward, because Kingdom, they've been struggling so much this whole split, just switching their roster so much, and now as a result, they only have 1 split the whole season against Aware.
The pressure's on the right side of the map currently. eLevate starting to trickle through. Kingdom eSports just trying to hunker down and base a good defense at the tier 1, but they're split up currently. Soul being zoned out into the mid lane while the rest of eLevate go ahead and just take down this tower. Kingdom eSports don't want to give their lives away that easily. They're going to back off and let it happen.
Everything about eLevate is just too tanky, too much damage. They have double meditation, they have their relics available, and they're setting up a trap.
Turning around the corner, Eagle's Router going to stun too. 2, Coviiii trying to heal back up. Truancii gonna find McSaltyCakes. The CC ripping through Rippin holes, gonna keep him stunned for a second. Zachsy gonna rewind, but right into the back line of eLevate. There goes the Sanctuary, and he's just trying to get away with the speed. Meanwhile, Niqued 1v3 and Supernova being used. Berserker's Barrage being used, and he's still not dead.
Zachsy's gonna finally fall. 2 victims on the side of Kingdom. eLevate in a 5-on-3 position. They have options between going right side Phoenix or the Fire Giant, but they're gonna go with the latter. They want to get that important buff to be able to absolutely melt these 3 Phoenixes moving forward.
Look at all the wards.
On point.
Did you see those wards? There were like 4 of them just in the same spot, and they popped down a sentry just to clear them out and make sure Fire Giant is going to be aggressed upon. And with that newly found vision that they have, they know exactly where Kingdom eSports is coming in. Coviiii going to get zoned out very quickly by Niqued, but that doesn't mean that JoltaK is going to be coming through. eLevate going to be able to secure their own Fire Giant and now continue to push Kingdom eSports out. First casualty being Coviiii.
Coviiii falls, as well as McSaltyCakes. Meanwhile, left-hand side, camping soul. He's trying to find some levels anywhere that he can, that he has to go into the tier 1 tower in the dueling, and that's gonna force eLevate's hand to go into this right side Phoenix. Respawning is the Zachsy, but he has nowhere to go as Jumpahhh lands right on him.
Camping Solo gonna back just to try and join this fight. Niqued been taking the Phoenix for too long, but now that it's gone, he's absolutely free to rotate and start taking the next one. Camping Solo gonna crash in, find Niqued, but not find anything else and have to hammer it right back out. Mjolnir's attunement, good as an escape.
He's trying to stall as long as he could, but just not enough. That mid Phoenix is still gonna fall. Kingdom are in so much trouble right now with Coviiii respawning. It's gonna be our 4-on-5, but this left side Phoenix is gonna immediately drop. Kingdom, they need to pull for a miracle here to defend their Titan, but eLevate, they're not going for the ending. They're not going to pull the trigger quite yet. They're going to go for that Gold Fury and then spend all the gold in hand, but it doesn't matter because the surrender happens. Just too demoralized this Kingdom.
24 minutes in, that's going to be the first surrender we're going to see in this set. And eLevate taking a very convincing game off of Kingdom.
Just absolute dominance performance coming out of eLevate, and this is what they really need to do. We keep talking about them and Soar. They're tied right now at 9 points. This is the prime opportunity to separate the gap at 11 points.
And eLevate needed this one win to tie with Soar. If they take another one, they're going to be above Soar and that much closer to coming to the land soon.
Right now,